Today is an exciting day for me because I get to feature some watches on the channel that I have really wanted to see hands-on. These are from the brand Houtman, and I have two different watches to show you guys. One has a beautiful gold dial, the other a ceramic dial, but it's not really the dials, well, not really only the dials, that make these watches very special. They're an independent brand, and these are their most affordable models. But just because they are more affordable doesn't mean you are getting some incredible details. And the whole design of this watch is like nothing else out there right now on the market. I have two of them to show you guys. So let's flip the camera and take a look at two beautiful watches from Houtman. Houtman, a brand that I've been talking about a lot on my channel, and I have never been able to feature them in hand up until today. And I have to thank the brand because when they were in New York for Watch Time, they had another show that was across the street from Windup called Hype NYC, and they were there. I met the owner of the brand. He was the nicest guy, and he was super excited about the fact that I was excited about his watches, which was just, it was contagious. It made me more excited about his watches, which is great. And it's always great to meet the owners of these brands and find out that they're great people. They're really nice people. That's kind of important. It is part of this whole watch collecting thing. So this is two of their watches that they sent over for me to check out for a little while. You might have seen them on my Instagram because I have featured them a number of times. Specifically this one is, I believe, the rose gold. I'm not colorblind, but sometimes I can't tell the difference between rose gold and gold. But I believe this is the rose gold dial. This one is their ceramic dial, and it has Breguet numerals that they designed themselves. So essentially Breguet numerals that they changed slightly to make their own. This is the Delft dial. That's what they call it because they are located in Delft. They are famous for their ceramics, and I believe they are famous for their blue and white ceramics, if I'm not wrong, but I'm pretty sure I am right about that. The biggest news about this watch is that they are 3D printed. This is something that they've been doing I think from the beginning. I think they've only made 3D printed watches, and they are printed in grade 5 titanium. And that's the reason why you get such a special case. When you turn it on its side, you could see that the entire case is evacuated. The lugs are these sweeping, almost ribbon-like lugs. They are finished on the top, but not on the side. So the sides are left in a raw finish that comes from the 3D printing. It's almost like a media blasting. It really does feel nice, and it looks really good. It changes the color of the titanium. When you brush it, it becomes like a little bit lighter because it reflects light, whereas if it's left raw, it almost looks like media blasting, and it doesn't reflect light as much, so it's not as bright. So it almost looks like two different tones of titanium, but it's not. It's just the same titanium finished in two different ways. You also get some polishing on the bezel as well. So the cases are very complicated. Even the case backs are very complicated. When you look at it, it's very organic looking. They say that they're taking inspiration from classic car designs in Art Nouveau. And you can definitely see that here. These almost look like fenders from a beautiful classic car when you turn it on its side. But at the same time, it looks very organic to me, almost like a plant structure or something like that would come from nature. And the dials also give me that feeling as well. Mainly these dials, they're metallic dials. They make a few different versions of these. This is a special dial. It's slightly more expensive than the rest because this is a ceramic dial, but their standard dials on this version of the Houtman is a winner in my opinion. This is just very unique and gorgeous. When you look at this dial, I'm going to start with this watch because I got to be honest, out of the two, this is my favorite, and it's the one that's a little bit less expensive. Not that the ceramic dial is bad in any way. It's a beautiful dial, but it's a little bit more of a traditional take on this watch. I like this wild take. This is a very layered dial. It is very deceiving. You have a base layer that's made out of gold, so It's either, I believe, rose gold or yellow gold. There's a few other materials that they are using as well. On top of that, they're putting a domed sapphire crystal. I'm not sure if the base plate is actually domed, but that sapphire crystal is domed. And then the name, the brand logo, is printed on that. Also, that minute track is printed on there. So that's printed directly on that sapphire crystal. So this is a sapphire and a metallic dial. And then above that, you have the indices. So the chapter ring that is around the dial is essentially the indices, and those are filled with lume on this one. On the other one, you're not getting that. On that ceramic dial, you don't get this. So the layers here are plenty. You have that top layer, which is the indices. Then you have that sapphire crystal, and then you have that metallic base. Even though it's a straightforward, minimalistic design, there's not a lot going on the dial. It is ultra modern and, again, very organic. The hands, very organic looking. Those are actually filled with lume as well. And it's thin because you are getting a Sellita SW300. So the 300 is their higher end movement. It is thinner. They are putting a customized rotor on here, and the customized rotor is finished by hand. It's carved and then it is finished by hand. Beautiful rotor on here that sort of transforms the movement a little bit, and they make a different version of this watch that gets a slightly different rotor, and that one I think has sold out, but these two are still available on their website. Really cool. Screwed in case back, and just an overall interesting design. And the ceramic dial is definitely a sleeper. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit more traditional looking when you're comparing it to that metallic dial. You're getting all the same treatment on the case. You're getting the same movement, that same rotor. You're getting blued skeletonized hands. They aren't lumed. And then you have those Breguet numerals in blue. And then that Houtman, that signature name, is signed at the 12 o'clock, right below the 12 o'clock, and it is extremely elegant. I will own one of these watches in my collection soon. I want one of these watches in my collection. I absolutely love them. They also make some higher end watches, so a lot of their other watches are very, very expensive. They make some really cool in-house movements that are curved, and they're really sculptural. That's what they're going for here. Everything is very sculptural. So the cases, the lugs, the designs, even their movements, lots of curves and organic shapes that just make these very appealing. On wrist today, another very unique watch. This is a David Rudden made out of full meteorite. This is a watch that I just recently purchased. It is a crazy watch that I have had my eye on for like 6 years, and finally I was able to buy this watch. It's very rare, and I am very excited to own it. And there is I believe this is a pink gold dial on my 7.5 inch wrist. This is a 38 millimeter watch. You have a 44.7 millimeter lug to lug, and you have a 9.8 millimeter thickness. That's including the boxed domed sapphire crystal. It is beautiful. It's beautiful on wrist. It's a very beautiful watch. I think it looks very elegant, but at the same time, like I said, very modern and sculptural. That's definitely what they are going for, and I really think they did a great job with this. You also get a beautiful clasp on here that is, again, 3D printed. It's signed with the brand name right there. It's evacuated on the side, so basically skeletonized. It looks fantastic. And there is the ceramic dial on my 7.5 inch wrist. It looks fantastic. These cases almost wear like a tonneau shaped case because of the way that the lugs are, and they are curved. It really wears very nicely on wrist. Very light because it's grade 5 titanium. Very thin because you have that Sellita SW300. Just a very good looking watch. I think you get like 50 meters of water resistance with these. You know, it's not incredible, but they are in grade 5 titanium. And you do get C3 Super Luminova on the other version. This one does not get any lume because, like I said, this is sort of a more classic design, a more classic sort of dress watch. Well, there you go. Lume on this one is really good. Obviously, like I said, there is no lume on the ceramic dial, but lume is very nicely applied to the hands and indices. You can see that your watch is Well, you can see the time in the dark. You can't see that it's working because you don't have lume on the second hand. So it would be nice if there was a little bit of lume on the second hand so that you could see that your watch is working in the dark. That is my own pet peeve. I like to see that. But other than that, I have no complaints about these watches. I have no complaints about the price either. These are around $5,300 as you see it. So this watch is $5,300. I believe the other one is around $5,700 or $5,900. For what you're getting and how unique these watches are, and they are extremely unique, I think those are pretty good prices. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. All of their other watches, everything that they have made up until these watches, were extremely expensive in the $10,000 range, and they've come out with some pretty incredible watches. These are no slouches. I think these are beautiful watches, but they don't have as bespoke of movements. The dials are just as bespoke, and the cases are pretty much as bespoke as those other models. It's just that you're getting a more standard movement. Even though you're getting that really beautiful custom rotor, it's more of a standard movement compared to what they have done in the past. I really enjoy their design language. I love the look of these watches. I just think that they are impressive. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. I'll put a link to their website down in the description below. Definitely check it out if you are interested. They have these watches in stock, and I believe they have some stock in the United States as well. I'm not entirely sure of that, but they are not shipping from Switzerland because these are not made in Switzerland. They only have a Swiss movement. These are Dutch watches. The case back, the dial, the indices, the hands, all of those are Dutch made. They are not made in Switzerland. So something to keep in mind, because this is kind of a rarity. There aren't many Dutch brands making that much of their components. Pretty interesting. Very cool watches. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. And that's really it, guys. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I will catch you guys in the next video.